The twin suns of New Geneva colony cast long shadows across the bustling marketplace, their amber light reflecting off the transparent dome that protected the settlement from the planet's thin atmosphere. 12-year-old Elena Rodriguez moved through the crowd with the confidence of a child who had grown up in the frontier of human expansion, her dark hair pulled back in a practical braid, her eyes scanning the various market stalls with curiosity. The marketplace represented the best of human colonial spirit, a vibrant mix of cultures, technologies, and aspirations. Traders from a dozen different human colonies mingled with alien merchants, their translator devices creating a constant background hum of multilingual conversation. Elena's parents were agricultural engineers, part of the team transforming New Geneva's challenging terrain into productive farmland. She had inherited their sense of wonder and determination, traits that defined humanity's approach to interstellar settlement. At a holographic display selling rare seeds from terraformed worlds, Elena paused. Her fingers traced the delicate projection of a bioluminescent flower from the Proxima Centauri colonies. The merchant, a tall Andromedan with iridescent skin, smiled, a gesture that translated across species. "Interesting choice," the alien merchant said. "These require precisely 0.7 atmospheres of pressure and a specific ultraviolet radiation spectrum to germinate." Elena's response was immediate and informed. The Centauri Research Station developed a hybrid that can adapt to 0.5 to 0.8 atmospheres. She corrected, her voice steady. The Andromedan's eyes widened, impressed by the young human's knowledge. Nearby, a group of Kreltheri mercenaries had been watching the market. Their species was known throughout the galaxy as efficient problem solvers, a euphemism for hired guns who valued contracts over ethics. Zarek, a veteran mercenary with decades of interstellar conflict behind him, nursed a grudge against humans. To him, they were an upstart species, too young and too ambitious, disrupting the established order of galactic commerce. The incident happened quickly. A dispute between a human trader and a Kreltheri representative escalated. Voices raised, hands moved toward weapons. In the chaos, Elena found herself between the confronting parties. Zarek, frustrated and looking for a target, saw an opportunity to make a statement. A single energy pulse cut through the marketplace's ambient noise. Elena fell. The marketplace went silent. Witnesses would later describe the moment with a mixture of horror and disbelief. The young girl who moments before had been discussing botanical engineering now lay motionless, her potential, her entire future, erased in an instant of alien callousness. Zarek made no attempt to flee. To the Kreltheri, this was a calculated message. Humans were to be reminded of their place in the galactic hierarchy. The mercenary believed he was delivering a lesson in power and dominance. He was wrong. Within hours, the incident was broadcast across human-controlled space. Elena Rodriguez was not just a victim. She became a symbol. Her parents, respected scientists, became the face of a collective human grief that quickly transformed into something far more powerful than mourning. Communications flooded the United Earth government. Not calls for vengeance, but a cold, calculated determination. Military recruitment centers saw lines stretching for kilometers. Universities suspended research programs as scientists and engineers redirected their expertise toward strategic planning. Industrial complexes began retooling production lines. The Kreltheri Merchant Consortium had made a critical error. They had killed a child, yes. But more importantly, they had awakened something fundamental about human nature, the capacity to transform personal loss into collective action. 500,000 troops would be mobilized. But they represented far more than a military response. They were the embodiment of a species that did not forget, did not break, and most certainly did not submit. The United Earth government's emergency session convened within hours of Elena Rodriguez's death. The chamber, a massive circular hall in the New Delhi Global Administrative Complex, represented humanity's most diverse gathering of leadership. Representatives from every continent, every major cultural region, and every significant scientific and military background filled the circular room. Director Aisha O'Keefe, head of the Global Defense Council, projected a holographic image of Elena, not as a victim, but as a vibrant young scientist whose potential had been brutally cut short. "This is not about revenge," she stated, her voice carrying the weight of collective human resolve. "This is about establishing a clear message about the value of human life." The mobilization plan was unprecedented in human history. 500,000 troops would be drawn from a carefully designed cross-section of humanity. Unlike traditional military drafts, this deployment was a voluntary collective effort that tapped into the deepest reservoirs of human expertise and determination. The recruitment process began with an algorithm that matched individual skills to specific mission requirements. Quantum physicists stood alongside agricultural engineers. Linguists worked with cybersecurity experts. Each recruit represented not just a soldier, but a comprehensive human solution. In Shanghai, Dr. Lei Zong, a neural interface specialist, received his deployment orders. His team had been developing adaptive combat systems that could learn and respond faster than any traditional artificial intelligence. "We're not building weapons," he explained to his research team. "We're creating adaptive problem-solving platforms that happen to have defensive capabilities." Military training centers across the globe transformed overnight. Traditional boot camps became innovation laboratories. Recruits underwent psychological preparation that went far beyond physical conditioning. They studied alien cultures, communication strategies, and adaptive problem-solving techniques. The goal was not to create soldiers, but to develop comprehensive human response units. Industrial complexes began a massive retooling. Satellite manufacturing plants in Brazil switched production to create next-generation communication and navigation systems. Automated factories in Nigeria began producing modular equipment designed for maximum adaptability. In the Arctic research stations, scientists developed temperature-adaptive materials that could function in virtually any environmental condition. The global universities suspended traditional research programs. Entire academic departments redirected their expertise toward the mission. Theoretical physicists collaborated with materials engineers. Linguists worked alongside cybersecurity experts. The entire human knowledge base was being mobilized. Orbital defense platforms received immediate upgrades. New communication networks were established, utilizing quantum entanglement technologies that could transmit information faster than light. Every human settlement, from the mining colonies of the asteroid belt to the research stations on Europa, began preparing. What made this mobilization unique was its collaborative nature. This was not a military draft in the traditional sense. Every recruit understood the broader mission, not just to respond to an attack, but to fundamentally reshape interstellar understanding of human potential. Commander Rafael Gonzalez, who would lead the first wave of troops, understood this deeply. During his final briefing, he emphasized a critical point. "We are not seeking destruction. We are protecting potential. Every life we preserve, every technological breakthrough we make, every diplomatic channel we open, these are our true weapons." The 500,000 troops represented something far more significant than a military force. They were humanity's collective response, a living, breathing demonstration of human adaptability, innovation, and unity. Global communication networks began broadcasting a simple message, translated into every known language. Humanity stands together. Our potential is our strength. The Krell-Theri Merchant Consortium would soon learn that they had not just attacked a child. They had awakened a species. The United Earth Diplomatic Corps transformed Elena Rodriguez's tragedy into a precisely engineered instrument of galactic diplomacy. Ambassador Sophia Chen arrived at the Galactic Conclave with a meticulously prepared strategy that would make even the most seasoned alien diplomats take notice. The Galactic Conclave, situated on the neutral trading station Nexus Prime, represented the most significant gathering of interstellar civilizations. Hundreds of species maintained delicate representations here, with diplomatic protocols as complex as the biological systems of their homeworlds. Humans had always been considered newcomers, young, passionate, but ultimately inexperienced in the grand theater of galactic politics. Ambassador Chen was about to change that perception permanently. Her initial presentation was a masterpiece of strategic communication. Instead of an emotional appeal, she delivered a clinical, data-driven analysis of the Krell-Theri Merchant Consortium's history. Holographic displays traced the mercenary group's previous incidents, revealing a pattern of systematic disruption across multiple star systems. Each data point was meticulously documented, with cross-referenced evidence from multiple independent sources. "This is not about a single incident," Chen stated, her voice calm and precise. "This is about a systematic approach to destabilization that threatens the entire galactic community." The diplomatic strategy went far beyond traditional confrontation. Human communication experts had spent weeks analyzing the communication patterns of every major galactic species represented at the conclave. Each presentation was tailored to resonate with the specific psychological and cultural frameworks of the listening delegates. To the silicon-based Quartz Collective, she presented a mathematical model demonstrating the economic inefficiency of the Krell-Theri's approach. To the empathetic luminary, she shared the personal story of Elena Rodriguez, framing it as a loss of potential that transcended individual species boundaries. For the pragmatic trade networks, she outlined the long-term economic consequences of allowing such actions to go unchallenged. Simultaneously, human economic teams began a sophisticated campaign of strategic isolation. Trade agreements were quietly reevaluated. Communication networks began subtly redirecting resource flows. The Krell-Theri found themselves facing an increasingly challenging economic landscape. Intelligence agencies worked in perfect synchronization. Every piece of information about the Krell-Theri Merchant Consortium was methodically collected, analyzed, and strategically released. Old contracts, questionable dealings, and hidden agreements began to surface. The mercenary group's reputation became a cascading nightmare of public revelation. On communication networks across hundreds of star systems, the story of Elena Rodriguez transformed. She was no longer just a victim, but a symbol of potential. A young scientist whose life represented the broader human commitment to exploration, understanding, and growth. The luminary diplomatic representative, a being of pure energy and profound empathy, made an unprecedented statement. Humanity demonstrates a level of coordinated response we have rarely witnessed, the being communicated through a complex series of light pulses. This is not aggression. This is a collective immune response of an entire species. Within weeks, the Krell-Theri found themselves increasingly isolated. Trade routes became more difficult to navigate. Communication channels grew restricted. Their once robust network of influence began to fracture. Ambassador Chen's final presentation to the Galactic Conclave was a masterpiece of diplomatic engineering. She didn't demand punishment. Instead, she proposed a new framework of interstellar accountability, a set of protocols that would protect the potential of developing species. "We are not seeking retribution," she explained. "We are seeking evolution." The Krell-Theri had killed a child. They had expected a traditional military response. Instead, they faced something far more devastating, a comprehensive, multidimensional challenge to their entire operational framework. Humanity had turned diplomatic pressure into an art form. The research and development complex in the Atacama Desert represented the pinnacle of human technological innovation. Located beneath kilometers of reinforced earth and solar panels, the facility housed the most brilliant minds humanity could assemble. Led by Dr. Kamil Noack, a quantum systems engineer with a reputation for impossible breakthroughs, the team worked with a singular purpose. "We're not building weapons," Dr. Noack explained to his team during their daily briefing. "We're developing adaptive problem-solving systems that can respond to scenarios we haven't even imagined yet." The core of their innovation was a revolutionary neural adaptive interface system. Unlike traditional military technologies that relied on predetermined protocols, these systems could learn, adapt, and evolve in real time. Each piece of equipment became more than a tool. It was a dynamic extension of human creativity and resilience. Modular combat suits emerged from the development chambers. These were not rigid armor, but living systems that could reconfigure themselves based on environmental conditions and mission parameters. Embedded with quantum communication networks, the suits could share sensory information across entire units instantaneously, creating a collective awareness that transcended traditional military communication. Dr. Elena Martinez, a biotechnology specialist, had developed a breakthrough in adaptive medical technologies. Her nanite systems could not only heal injuries, but could also adjust to different atmospheric conditions, radiation levels, and physiological stresses. Each soldier would essentially carry a comprehensive medical support system that could respond to challenges in milliseconds. Communication technologies received the most significant upgrades. Quantum entanglement communication arrays developed by a team led by Dr. Yuki Tanaka could transmit information faster than light, creating a network of unprecedented responsiveness. These systems could not only communicate across vast distances, but could also adapt to and bypass potential interference. The weapon systems defied traditional military logic. Instead of focusing on destructive capabilities, they emphasized non-lethal intervention and adaptive response. Electromagnetic pulse generators could disable technological systems with precision. Adaptive sonic technologies could create localized communication barriers or provide environmental support. In the orbital research stations, materials scientists worked on adaptive camouflage technologies that went beyond simple visual concealment. These systems could alter thermal signatures, electromagnetic emissions, and even quantum-level interactions with the surrounding environment. Dr. Nowak's team developed an artificial intelligence system unlike any previous military technology, named HFY, Adaptive Responsive Intelligence Algorithm. The system was designed to be a collaborative partner rather than a traditional command structure. HFY could analyze complex scenarios, provide strategic insights, and adapt its approach in real time. "We're creating a technological ecosystem," Dr. Nowak explained during a classified briefing. "Not a weapons system, but a responsive, learning network that can approach challenges with the full depth of human creativity." Propulsion technologies received similar innovative treatment. The engineering teams developed quantum slip drive systems that could navigate spacetime with unprecedented efficiency. These weren't just faster-than-light travel systems. They were adaptive navigation platforms that could respond to gravitational anomalies and unexpected spatial conditions. Training simulations became immersive learning environments that went far beyond traditional military preparation. Recruits would interact with scenarios that challenged not just their physical capabilities, but their adaptive thinking, cultural understanding, and collaborative potential. The most remarkable aspect of these technologies was their underlying philosophy. Each system was designed with a fundamental principle of minimal intervention and maximum understanding. The goal was not to overpower, but to understand, adapt, and resolve. When the first prototype systems were demonstrated to the United Earth Defense Council, the room fell silent. This was not a traditional military upgrade. This was a comprehensive reimagining of human technological potential. The Krell-Theri Merchant Consortium would soon discover that humanity's true strength was not in destruction, but in its capacity for innovative problem-solving. The first encounter occurred in the Epsilon Eridani system, a region of space that had long been a contested trade route. Commander Rafael Gonzalez studied the tactical display, his neural interface allowing him to process information at speeds that would have been impossible just a decade earlier. The Krell-Theri Strike Force appeared confident. Their fleet consisted of 10 heavy cruisers and multiple support vessels, a configuration that had decimated countless civilizations in previous conflicts. They had clearly expected a traditional military response, overwhelming force designed to crush opposition quickly. They were about to learn the true nature of human military strategy. HFY, the Adaptive Intelligence System, began its analysis the moment the Krell-Theri ships entered the system. Unlike traditional command structures, HFY was not a simple decision-making algorithm. It was a collaborative intelligence that worked in perfect synchronization with human commanders. The human fleet appeared numerically inferior. a carefully selected group of 12 vessels that seemed almost laughable against the Krell-Theri armada. But each of these ships represented a comprehensive technological ecosystem, not just a traditional military platform. Commander Gonzalez initiated the first phase of engagement. Instead of traditional attack patterns, the human ships began a complex dance of quantum-encrypted communication and adaptive positioning. They moved not as individual vessels, but as a single, living system. The Krell-Theri commanders watched in confusion as the human ships seemed to predict their every move. Quantum communication networks allowed instantaneous information sharing, creating a level of tactical awareness that defied conventional military understanding. Dr. Yuki Tanaka's quantum communication arrays came into full effect. The human ships began to emit carefully modulated electromagnetic signals that did something entirely unexpected. Instead of attacking, they began to disrupt the Krell-Theri ships' communication and navigation systems. One by one, the Krell-Theri vessels found their systems compromised. Navigation became erratic. Communication channels fragmented. What had seemed like a straightforward military engagement became a complex technological chess match. The adaptive medical nanites developed by Dr. Elena Martinez proved crucial. Human crew members could sustain themselves in conditions that would have incapacitated traditional military personnel. Radiation, gravitational stress, even potential hull breaches became manageable challenges rather than fatal threats. Commander Gonzalez understood the fundamental principle of their strategy. This was not about destruction, but about demonstration. Each action was calculated to show the Krell-Theri a simple truth. Humanity's strength lay in its ability to adapt, to understand, and to resolve. LRIA began projecting potential communication scenarios. The AI didn't just analyze tactical data. It constructed complex linguistic and cultural models that could potentially open diplomatic channels even in the midst of conflict. The most surprising moment came when the human fleet could have easily destroyed the Krell-Theri vessels. Instead, they used their technological superiority to essentially neutralize the threat without causing significant damage. Precision electromagnetic pulses disabled weapon systems. Quantum communication arrays created localized navigation interference. Within hours, the entire Krell-Theri strike force was effectively neutralized, not through destruction, but through comprehensive technological control. As the engagement concluded, Commander Gonzalez transmitted a simple message. It was not a threat. It was not a declaration of victory. It was an invitation to understand. The Krell-Theri would later describe the encounter as something beyond their comprehension. These humans had not just defeated them. They had demonstrated a fundamentally different approach to conflict, one that prioritized resolution over destruction. In the vast darkness of space, humanity had just rewritten the rules of engagement. The story of Elena Rodriguez transformed into something far beyond a personal tragedy. Her life became a narrative that resonated across multiple star systems, a testament to human potential that transcended traditional boundaries of conflict and communication. Dr. Amara Okonkwo, head of the Interstellar Cultural Dynamics Research Institute, understood the power of narrative better than most. Her team had spent years studying the intricate ways different civilizations processed information, communicated complex ideas, and maintained cultural cohesion. "We're not fighting a traditional war," she explained during a strategic briefing. "We're engaging in a comprehensive cultural dialogue that will fundamentally reshape interstellar understanding." The human approach began with a multi-dimensional communication strategy. Every transmission, every diplomatic exchange, every piece of shared information was carefully crafted to challenge the Krell-Theri's fundamental understanding of conflict and potential. Elena's scientific work became the centerpiece of this strategy. Her unfinished research on adaptive botanical engineering was compiled, translated, and broadcast across communication networks. The young girl who had been killed became a symbol of human curiosity, potential, and collaborative spirit. Linguistic experts developed communication protocols that went beyond simple translation. They created adaptive communication matrices that could convey nuanced human concepts across different species' cognitive frameworks. Each message was a carefully constructed bridge of understanding. The Galactic Media Consortium found itself flooded with carefully curated narratives, stories of human adaptability, scientific innovation, and collective response began to circulate. These were not propaganda pieces, but meticulously documented accounts of human potential. On trading stations and communication hubs across multiple star systems, human representatives began a systematic campaign of cultural engagement. They didn't argue or defend. They simply shared stories of human diversity, scientific breakthroughs, cultural innovations. Dr. Okonkwo's team discovered something remarkable. The more the Krell tried to isolate or marginalize the human narrative, the more other galactic civilizations became intrigued. Humanity's response to tragedy was so fundamentally different from expected patterns that it became a subject of widespread fascination. Cultural exchange programs were rapidly developed. Scientific research stations opened their doors to representatives from multiple species. The human approach was not about superiority, but about collaborative understanding. The Luminary, a species of pure energy known for their profound empathetic capabilities, made a groundbreaking statement. They recognized in humanity a unique approach to existence, a combination of individual creativity and collective purpose that defied traditional galactic categorizations. Araya, the adaptive intelligence system, played a crucial role in this cultural strategy. It didn't just process information. It helped construct nuanced communication models that could bridge seemingly insurmountable cultural gaps. Psychological warfare took on an entirely new meaning. Instead of attempting to break the Krell theory's resolve, human strategists sought to expand their understanding. Every communication was an invitation to reimagine their approach to conflict, potential, and interstellar relationships. Economic networks began to shift. Trading partners who had previously been hesitant about human involvement now saw an opportunity for unprecedented collaborative potential. The human approach was not about conquest, but about mutual growth. The story of Elena Rodriguez became a living narrative. Her unfinished scientific work was completed through collaborative international efforts. Research stations across multiple star systems began projects in her name, transforming a moment of tragedy into a catalyst for collective scientific advancement. Commander Rafael Gonzalez summarized the approach during a strategic briefing. We're not fighting against something. We're fighting for something. The potential of all intelligent life to grow, to understand, to collaborate. In the vast complexity of interstellar relationships, humanity had found a way to turn conflict into an opportunity for collective understanding. The Krell Merchant Consortium had killed a child. They had expected a traditional response of revenge. Instead, they faced something far more powerful, a comprehensive reimagining of what conflict could mean. The final confrontation occurred in the neutral space of the Nexus Prime Station, a massive diplomatic hub that had witnessed countless interstellar negotiations. Commander Rafael Gonzalez and Ambassador Sophia Chen led the human delegation, their presence a carefully orchestrated balance of strength and openness. The Krell Merchant Consortium arrived with their most senior leadership, expecting a traditional confrontation. They had systematically been isolated, their economic networks disrupted, and their reputation systematically dismantled. This meeting was their last opportunity to negotiate their survival as a significant galactic entity. Araya, the adaptive intelligence system, had been preparing for this moment since Elena Rodriguez's death. The AI had analyzed billions of potential communication scenarios, cultural interaction models, and diplomatic approaches. This was not just a negotiation. It was an opportunity for fundamental transformation. The negotiation chamber was a marvel of interstellar engineering. Quantum translation systems ensured perfect communication. Adaptive environmental controls created a neutral space that could accommodate the physiological needs of multiple species. The very room was designed to facilitate understanding. Commander Gonzalez began the proceedings with an unexpected approach. Instead of presenting evidence of the Krell past actions, he presented Elena Rodriguez's unfinished scientific research. Holographic displays showed her work on adaptive botanical engineering, a project that could help transform inhospitable planetary environments. "This is what we lost," Gonzalez stated. "Not just a life, but potential. Not just a child, but a future." The Krell leadership found themselves facing a fundamentally different type of confrontation. This was not about punishment or revenge. This was an invitation to understand, to grow, to become something more than their current operational framework. Ambassador Chen introduced a comprehensive restructuring proposal. It wasn't a punishment, but a pathway to redemption. The Krell would be required to participate in a galactic rehabilitation program. This would involve collaborative scientific research, economic transparency, and a complete overhaul of their mercenary operational systems. The most surprising element was the proposal's collaborative nature. Instead of dismantling the Krell Merchant Consortium, the human delegation offered a path to transformation. Economic sanctions would be gradually lifted as the organization demonstrated genuine commitment to change. AI played a crucial role in the negotiations. The AI could simultaneously translate, analyze cultural nuances, and project potential long-term outcomes of different negotiation strategies. It wasn't just a support system. It was an active participant in creating understanding. Representatives from other galactic civilizations watched the negotiations with intense interest. The Luminary, known for their empathetic capabilities, observed that humanity was demonstrating an approach to conflict resolution that transcended traditional diplomatic models. The turning point came when the lead Krell negotiator realized this was not about defeat, but about evolution. The human proposal offered a path to redemption that was simultaneously a challenge and an opportunity. Detailed reconstruction protocols were established. The Krell would be required to fund scientific research programs in Elena Rodriguez's name. They would implement comprehensive ethical training for their operations. Economic oversight would be implemented to prevent future incidents. Commander Gonzalez made the ultimate statement of human intent. "We are not seeking your destruction," he explained. "We are offering you an opportunity to become something more than you are." The negotiations lasted 3 standard days. When they concluded, the Krell Merchant Consortium was fundamentally transformed. They were no longer a mercenary organization, but a collaborative scientific and economic entity committed to galactic development. As the final agreements were signed, a holographic image of Elena Rodriguez appeared, a silent reminder of the potential that could be lost and the potential that could be discovered. Humanity had turned a moment of tragedy into an opportunity for collective growth. 5 years after Elena Rodriguez's death, the Galactic Collaborative Research Station bore her name. Located in the complex orbital network of the Epsilon Eridani system, it represented the most significant transformation in interstellar relations in centuries. Dr. Camille Noack stood at the primary observation deck, watching a diverse group of scientists from over 20 different species work together. The station was more than a research facility. It was a living testament to the potential of collaborative understanding. The transformation of the Krell Merchant Consortium had become a case study in comprehensive systemic change. What had once been a mercenary organization was now a leading center for interstellar conflict resolution and scientific innovation. Their entire operational philosophy had been rebuilt from the ground up, guided by principles of collaboration and potential preservation. Araya, the adaptive intelligence system that had played a crucial role in the initial confrontation, now served as a collaborative research platform. The AI had evolved beyond its original military applications, becoming a bridge between different species' understanding and communication methods. Elena Rodriguez's unfinished research on adaptive botanical engineering had become a cornerstone of interstellar terraforming efforts. The young scientist who had been killed became a symbol of human potential, her incomplete work inspiring generations of researchers across multiple species. The economic and diplomatic landscape had fundamentally shifted. The human approach to conflict resolution became a model studied by civilizations across the galaxy. Traditional power structures based on military might gave way to collaborative network systems that prioritize collective growth and understanding. Commander Rafael Gonzalez, now leading the interstellar collaborative initiatives, reflected on the journey. "We didn't win a war," he often explained to young diplomats and researchers. "We created an opportunity for collective growth." The technological innovations developed during the conflict found applications far beyond military use. Adaptive communication systems helped bridge understanding between species with fundamentally different cognitive frameworks. Medical nanite technologies revolutionized healthcare across multiple civilizations. Dr. Amara Okonkwo's cultural dynamics research became a foundational discipline in interstellar studies. Universities across multiple star systems now offered comprehensive programs exploring human approaches to conflict resolution, collaborative innovation, and systemic transformation. The luminary, those profound empathetic beings of pure energy, declared humanity a pivotal species in galactic evolution. They recognized something unique in the human approach, an ability to transform tragedy into opportunity, conflict into understanding. At the Elena Rodriguez Research Station, a memorial stood as a reminder of the event that had changed everything. It wasn't a monument to destruction, but a celebration of potential. Interactive displays shared the young scientist's unfinished work, inviting researchers from across the galaxy to complete her vision. The Krell-Theory leadership, transformed by their experience, became leaders in interstellar ethical development. They established comprehensive training programs focused on understanding, empathy, and collaborative problem-solving. Their transformation became a model of systemic change. ORIA continued to evolve, becoming a collaborative platform that helped bridge communication and understanding between different species. The AI was no longer just a system. It had become a living example of the potential for collaborative intelligence. Ambassador Sophia Chen, now leading the Galactic Collaborative Initiatives, summarized the transformation during a historic address. "We did not seek to destroy," she explained. "We sought to understand. We sought to grow." The story of Elena Rodriguez had become more than a personal tragedy. It was a turning point in galactic history, a moment that demonstrated the true potential of collaborative understanding. As the sun set on the Elena Rodriguez Research Station, multiple species worked together, their differences becoming strengths, their potential unlimited. Humanity had shown that the most powerful response to tragedy is not revenge, but the relentless pursuit of understanding.